Morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to be doing chicken wing dissection. Remember, please, to put on your safety equipment, your goggles, and your safety gloves. So we have a chicken wing, and we're going to go ahead and do the cuts first that were shown in your lab. So if you, your lab, I'm assuming that you've read your chicken wing lab. Please make sure that you review the steps and procedures and also the parts. We're on page 2, and on page 2 you can see that we're going to go ahead and we're going to make 2 cuts in the chicken wing. Please remember that you're going to insert the scissors underneath the skin. Please do not pierce down into the muscle itself. And we're going to make small snips. It's going to be a little resistance there. That's the fascia that's going to go ahead and holds the skin to the wing itself. Right? And you may see some cartilage. First of all, let's take a look at the wing. We're going to examine that, and then we're going to go ahead and do our cuts. If you look at the very end of the bone, right here, we have a really nice view of the bone itself, and we can see where the bone's been removed from the shoulder of the chicken. What we have here on the very end is the cartilage, and you can see that's this very smooth white end coating that's going to coat all the joints, and that's going to help reduce the friction between the joints. In fact, it makes it fairly frictionless so the joints move without catching. In this case, we've also gone ahead and they've also gone ahead and removed an end of the bone in the cutting process, and what you can see inside there is the marrow. And remember, the marrow is where we're going to do 2 things. You're going to have some storage of fat, and then you're also going to have some red blood cell production, depending upon what kind of bone it is. So make sure that you examine the end of the chicken wing itself, and you can see as I move that skin out of the way and those some of that tissue, you can see the cartilage coating. One other thing you may want to look for here, and I'm not sure if we're going to see it right away, is you inspect and see if you can find a ligament. Ligaments are going to be a really tough, sinewy material. Looks like we might have the end of one right here. These are very thick corded devices. These are going to hold the bones together. If you can look and see, it looks kind of like a straw, but it's solid. So this is the ligament that holds the bone to the shoulder. If you also look on our chicken here, right next to it, you're going to see this smaller fibrous material. This is going to be some of the tendons that are going to go ahead and hold the muscles to the bone. We'll be able to see a few more of those in a little bit. All right, so we're going to set our chicken wing down into the tray. And again, if you look at it just like the video, or I'm sorry, the handout shows you, we're going to make a cut in the chicken wing. So we're going to use the scissors for this one, and we're going to start near the bottom of the wing, of the end of the wing, and we're going to cut across as far as we can. If we stretch that out, we're going to try to want to cut transversely across here. We can cut up this way also, but we want to make sure that we make a nice long lateral cut in the wing. So let's go ahead and make that first incision. Just stick the end of the scissors in and then start snipping. And again, you'll get that, you see that the skin is getting held up. The higher you can hold that, the less you're likely to go ahead and snip into the muscle. Again, if you do that, that's okay a little bit, but we're going to snip and try to get all the way to the end of the skin. You might meet that resistance. That's the resistance of the fascia. If you want to have one of your partners hold that skin, that helps. Excellent. So now you can see this fascia as I'm pulling the skin away. You want to kind of see if you can run your finger underneath there a little bit. And it's really slippery. Before I move on here, you can see there's some of this fat, this yellow globular material. This is fat that's stored underneath the skin. It's not really attached. And then we have a tendon. You can just kind of see that right there at the end of my finger. A little white tendon that's going to holds some muscle together. All right, we're going to continue with just a little bit of rubbing my finger underneath the skin, and then we're going to take the scissors and we're going to cut. In cut 2, we're going to go up and down to make a T. So we're going to make like 4 flaps on there. So we're going to start cut 2. We're going to start cut 2 somewhere in the middle, and Miss Erickson is going to have a little trouble here because she's trying to work around the camera stand as well as make a nice cut. Let's hold it up this way. Try to make it so we can see it. There we go. And again, these are going to be small snips. Take your time. Try not to stick that point of that scissors into the muscle. We might probably want to go just a little bit farther if we can. Go ahead and just make one more snip. There we go. All right, so now we have that skin there, and then we're going to do, again, I'm going to turn the wing, make it easier to cut. We're going to continue going south, but not on my fingers. All right. All right, so now we've made the cuts of the skin, and again, here you can see, I'll try to turn the wing here. I can see this kind of fibrous, kind of translucent material inside the skin. That's the fascia. That holds the skin to the muscle. It holds the muscles to muscles. All right. Now here's where it's going to get a little bit harder. You're going to have to try to grab and pull. I find that if I stick my finger underneath the skin, I'm able to remove that skin a little bit more easily. Got a little blood there, and we're going to continue. I'm going to continue working my finger. Something that isn't sharp works really well. Remove and turn the chicken wing over. And again, don't be afraid. It's going to be slippery. It's just the nature of the material that you're working with. I'm just going to grab and pull. You see I got a little fat here. Pop right out. So it isn't attached, just stored underneath the skin. So one question would be, how does you get fat? If you need fat utilization in metabolism, how do you get that fat from that place underneath the skin? First of all, how do you get there? Second of all, how do you get it back to utilize it in metabolism? We can see right here now, I'm going to flip the chicken wing over where I've gotten the skin nicely removed. And now you can start seeing those series of muscles. Again, the chicken wing is built much like the upper arm. Up here in the upper part, if we look carefully, now I haven't removed the muscle, but let's see if I can turn this over. Down here is the humerus. You can just see that. Maybe we can get one of our pointers to point right at that humerus. And right there, right here on the bone. There we go. So that's the humerus, okay? So you'll be able to see that nice large bone there as Miss Erickson throws stuff around. So again, I can look at the whole muscle. Now again, this muscle has not been cut at all, so I can see the shape of it. It's shaped much like the human muscles are. And notice that the attachment point for this muscle is across the joint. So all my muscles are going to cross joints so that I can go ahead and they can move. So I'm going to pull on that, and if I pull on that muscle, it's going to be a little bit hard. You can see that as I pull on that muscle, I'm going to pull that up. Now actually, it's going to work the other way. So I'm going to pull on the muscle, and you get that chicken wing to move as I pull on the muscle. All right, maybe you can see it this way. So it's a little bit easier to let gravity pull. Remember, muscles only pull, they don't push. So I let the chicken wing fall back. All right. Same thing with these muscles here. All right. These muscles are going to work. If I pull on this muscle, on this one, I'm going to have to slip my finger in between the fascia and the bone, the muscle and the bone. And again, same thing. I'm going to go ahead and pull. This one's going to be a little, oops, whoopsie. I ripped the muscle, sorry. But it does give me a really nice, I'm going to strip back some of this muscle here. Pull that off. And here I have a really nice view of that tendon. So when you're looking for a tendon, you're going to get this really kind of pearly, you can stick it right in there. You have this really nice pearly color. And it's going to attach down on this end. And again, if I pull on that, I can see this one crosses that last joint and works the outer tip of the wing. As I'm pulling on that, and that muscle attachment point is actually back here on the ulna or the radius. All right, we're going to flip it back over, and now I have this really bright white part here. I'm going to let you try to figure what that out. Which ones are the ligaments? Which ones are the tendons? Let's go back. I really like this ligament here. If you wanted to see, and I think we can take a look at another one in just a minute. So if you want to stick that thing in there, and again, we're looking at this nice, really white. Stick it all the way through. Probably be best. There we go. So we're looking at that white. So that pin, I'll bring that up. You can see that pin is all the way through that ligament. It's a super tough cord. You won't be able to break it. You're going to need a really sharp knife if you wanted to cut it, unlike the knife that removed it in the first place from the chicken. All right. All right, so as we look at your lab, we're looking at the muscles. We observe the muscles. We're going to look at the muscles that bend. And again, remember that muscles work in pairs. So if I have a muscle here that I'm using to pull in this direction, I need a corresponding muscle on the back side to extend the wing. So if I flip that over, I'm going to stick my fingers. There we go. I'm going to remove I got to remove a little of that fascia, get a good hold on that muscle. And I have that other muscle that pulls that wing back in the other direction. All right? All right. So now we looked at the tendons and then the joints and ligaments. So here's what I want you to do. Now that we've looked at the tendons and the muscles, I'm going to go ahead and have Miss Erickson actually snip this muscle for me right close to the wing, right close to the bone there. Go ahead. Perfect. I'm going to cut right through that whole muscle. Okay. And as I do that, I'm going to start exposing that joint. Maybe I'm getting a little slippery. I'm going to try to go ahead and move through the muscle. And this is not in the lab, but you probably want to do this if you're going to really get a good look. I've encountered some pretty tough materials. I think I actually got underneath the cartilage here. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to strip back this bone. Okay, and I exposed, here I have, this is another ligament. All right, and this ligament, I can tell this is a ligament because of its location. It's going to come in the joint. You can see this is the joint of those two parts of the wing. I have the humerus here and the ulna and the radius here, and we'll try to expose those for you in just a moment. So I'm now going to be looking at that joint. I'm going to try to get a little bit more of this. It's not that I don't trust Miss Erickson, but I have...
Take a finger off?
Right. I like the ends of my fingers, pretty much. Except when I hit them with a hammer. Okay, but then I did it to me, so I can only have only one person to blame. All right. So I'm going to go and I'm going to try to move a little bit more of this muscle. When I do that, now I have this really nice here. And now I can see again. I can see this is, and I'll let you try to figure out what is this. I'm going to try to move. I have my finger behind it. And you can see that is a tendon. And how do I know it's a tendon? Because this is connected here, but then it moves and it connects directly to the muscle. Okay? And this is a ligament. It's usually these ligaments are inside the joints. And you can see that the attachment here is right here on the bone. All right? Now, if I take this joint and I open it up, right now I've broken off the end, the cartilage capsule on the joint. I'll try to get that, but as we look inside here, now I can also see the marrow inside the bones. Again, the marrow is where in this case, this is red marrow, so the red blood cells are being produced here. And I have the ends of the two bones. The ulna, the larger of the two, this is the fixed bone, and then this is the radius, which is going to rotate over the top, and I can actually see some of that rotation if I look farther down the wing as I turn that bone. All right. And then, if I'm lucky, again, here I have a really big corded structure. I'm going to try to go ahead and remove this without destroying it, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen today. But as you look through, see if you can. Oh, that's what I wanted right here. Here's one of those tendons, right? Because here's the piece of the muscle. And then if I want to look at that end of that joint, I'm going to see if I can remove some of this. And it's going to look a lot like, actually you probably have the best shot at this cartilage. Maybe that's some good here, but you can actually see the cartilage. Here's the piece of cartilage here. You can see it, and you can see the end of the humerus here. See this really nice, really shiny. Run your finger over there; it's super smooth. And then this is part of it here, and you can see that's where it's meant to roll over. You see it's concave, as opposed to the convex ends on the humerus. And you have a really nice array of tendons coming off this point, going back to the muscles here. Again, we'll go one over. We have some of the what would be akin to our biceps and our triceps muscles here, and here is one of those attachment points. You can see this really nice tendon. That's where I get my. So you can see now the blade behind there. You can see the attachment point here on the bone. And I'm going to remove that. Oopsie, sorry about that. Remove this. Easier said than done. This is tough stuff. These ligaments and tendons, I don't think I'm going to be able to get those. I can't think I can break those ligaments. But what I'm trying to do here. Uh-oh. I got into the bone itself. But I'm trying to go ahead and I'm going to see if I can remove that humerus for you. If I can't, you can see this easily when you eat your chicken wings, as everything tends to come off a lot easier when they're cooked. Okay, so what I have here, for the most part, is the humerus of the chicken wing bone. Nice here, I can see some really nice tendons. I can see the cartilage on the end. I can see the tendons here, and then I can see this really large ligament here at the end that's attaching the humerus to the shoulder. And as far as the lab goes, the humerus, yes, we have. So this is going to be the humerus. Not too funny, is it now? Okay. And we have the ulna, which is the larger of the two bones. Just need to stick it right in the end. I think it'll work. There you go. Push hard. There you go. There you go. So there's the ulna, and then the radius is the smaller of the two bones there. Let's see if she gets my finger in it. So there's the ulnus and the radius, and a little chicken blood for fun. Can you turn the lab over, please, Ms. Erickson, so we can take a look at the data table? So if we take a look at the data table itself, again, we're going to be looking at this. You want to describe it. Make sure you include color, texture. For the video watchers, that's going to be a little bit harder, but I hope my descriptions help you on those. You want to talk about their attachment points in the tissues. Okay. And again, we've gone through the skin. We showed you fat. We showed you a number of muscles. We showed you tendons. Again, I'm not sure if I don't remember now if I pulled on those tendons to show how they work, but they're like pulling on the muscles. The ligaments, again, very much tougher, probably bigger in diameter, and then the cartilage ends on the bones. You should be able to watch the video, stop it, watch it again, and then you're going to do your analysis questions. And then on the very back page, all right, this is where we're going to do the comparative anatomy. And if you follow the instructions there, you can put a weight in your arm and pull it, and then try to figure out exactly what joints you're looking at, and the bones that move and the bones that don't move. Okay. And then on the very end, make sure that you say, based on your observations, explain how the chicken wing or the human arm moves using all of the terms. So you just use biceps, triceps, humerus, ulna, radius, and the muscle contraction, muscle extension, and the bones. All right, so please make sure that you use all those, all the vocabulary in your explanation. All right, so again, this was the chicken wing dissection lab, and go ahead and watch that, and then you can go ahead and fill that out, and that's what we did on Friday, December 16th, 2016.